From bad to worse, the theme of Big Brother 25 in every single way as I try and muster up the give a shit to talk about the season with still 5 weeks left. I'm going to try and keep this short and painless because the feeds have become very, very painful to watch because they just get more boring by the week and the season is too long and painful. It's been a lot lately. And we come off of Mimi going home, who never had a good enough social game and didn't even try and fight to stay in the house, as I continue to be amazed that the casting for this show has to purposefully cast this kind of cast. Last season I said that it was the worst group of players I've ever seen play the game, but somehow this season has topped it when it comes to gameplay. And it's like casting purposefully tries to do this, or at least this is what Grodner loves with her poor vision for this show. Last night, Bowie won the HOH, and it just keeps getting worse because now we have to deal with Bowie finally playing the game more than 2 months into the season. Bowie finally enters the game by winning HOH, and her big plan is to, well, keep things similar to what they've been the last couple of weeks and nominate Felicia and Cirie because she thinks that Cirie needs to go, which for Bowie's game kind of makes sense. But this is what I continue to hate about Bowie and why I don't think it actually does make sense in the end, because I see these arguments that Bowie wants to get rid of Felicia and Cirie so that she's the one that gets dragged to the end and not one of those two. That's already ruined. That's done. That possible plan makes no sense now. Why? Well, because Bowie just won this HOH and now she actually has to play the game. So to me, Bowie's no longer going to get dragged to the end. People can say to her that they still want her towards the end, but Bowie has shown over and over that she could get close in competitions, and now that she can win competitions, and now that she has to make a decision because she has different people trying to pull her in different directions, because that is how her non-gaming ass has done all season. She hasn't played the game. She's just been there. She's never wanted to actively play. But the main way to actively have to play is win an HOH, which is what she now is. Now, I still don't feel like she actively wants to make a decision, and that's why she wants to play it safe, but it's also why I hate that she was cast for this season. She said something last night which just proved my entire point about her. She said, when Matt and Jag are pushing to backdoor Cameron or to get out Cameron this week, Bowie says, and I'm not quoting completely, but this was basically what she said. She said, "That's a huge move getting rid of Cameron. It's not fair that I have to do it." For many seasons, the players sit there and they want to list all these things they have on their resume because they were there to play the game at least. And now you have Bowie not wanting a single thing on her resume. And you can't have the argument for her, oh, I wanted to get out Cirie, when everyone else is coming to you, and it's pretty obvious they're not going to vote out Cirie. It's pretty obvious they don't want you to make this nomination, and Bowie has been saying she's a team player, and because she has been playing the game, it's been looking that way. But now we have yet another HOH where it's just doing stuff to just not try and win the game. It's becoming harder and harder to watch this season. It's only getting worse by the day. It's not getting an ounce better. And the fact that we still have 5 weeks and it's this boring. Today, they had an HOH party with everyone basically sans the black woman and the Asian woman. And look how exciting the feeds were. it's pretty dead in the water on Big Brother 25, and this Bowie HOH is just gonna make things worse. Of course, you have Corey and America trying to get their way of getting Camera Blue out this week. Cameron wants to get Corey out this week. Bowie not being a team player and listening to them, she's going to put up her initial noms, and then if somebody comes down and from the veto, which it seems like almost everyone in the house except Bowie will use the veto, then we'll see what Bowie has to do, but it'll probably just be Blue. Unless Blue wins the veto, then things can maybe look a little different this week, but I don't think Bowie's going to take out a big player because it doesn't fit her resume, and we're stuck in a house that is playing ass backwards because the first half of the season they played like it was the second half of the season by making these big moves, and now the second half of the season, when you should be making big moves, everybody wants all their shields in the house, multiple shields in the house. And the problem with that is, Corey and Jag don't want to take the shot at Cameron or Corey themselves, but then Jag, in his lack of brain, wants to take out Blue, who is one of the only people that can maybe win a competition, and take out Corey. So Jag's argument is we keep Corey in the house because he's such this big target, but they don't want to take out Corey themselves and have the blood on their hands, even though Corey would take out Jag in a heartbeat and wants to take out Jag sooner rather than later. I mean, I can't continue to follow Jag's game because there hasn't been an ounce of logic to Jag's game this entire season, so I'm not going to continue to try and understand where he comes from. He comes from a place of just not wanting to play the game and just doing a bad job every time he tries to play the game, and I'm pretty sick of it. The noms have yet to happen today when I'm recording this. They usually happen in like 5 hours before I'm recording this in the usual week, so I don't know what's going on with that. Maybe they will have some twist to screw Bowie, or just to make things more exciting. I don't know. But their twists, look at their track record. So yeah, the only thing good coming out this week is Bowie can't get to the end by not playing the whole time, because now she actually has to show little cards, and the more she tries not to show cards, the more she finally grows her target. So at the end of the day, everyone wants to pull Bowie a certain direction, and now that she finally has to play the game, she wants to do her own move and put up Suri and get Suri out, but nobody else wants to vote Suri out. So why even try and follow these players' games anymore? Not a single player has made any sense this entire season. We're going to have a subpar winner either way, and right now the feeds are about as dead as they possibly can get. Although the way the season's going, somehow I'm sure that next week will even be more boring than this week, because that's what's been happening ever since the zombie twist. Like the week before the zombie twist, it was boring as hell. And then the zombie twist happened and it was even more boring. And then somehow last week topped the boring zombie week, at least for me, because we saw once the Cameron wasn't going to put up Corey, we were not going to have some explosive week. So we ended up having Mimi getting the vote switched on her, even though Mimi was pretty much a non-entity in the game herself. And now we have a Bowie HOH to even top last week's boringness. Who isn't Grodner the best producer ever?